pair of glasses every year. So it's been like 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, so 3 years. And that's great. They didn't fall apart, they didn't break, and talk to Kevin. And also I want to let everyone know that you will be able to download all these seminars off the Rendezvous website, probably in 2 days, 3 days.
Depends on bandwidth.
Yeah. Well, once the rendezvous is over, you'll be able to go in and everybody gets back to their, their equipment, and they can do that. So.
And the carving post.
Chainsawrendezvous.org. I mean, if you just type in Ridgeway Rendezvous, it comes up.
And a lot of pictures will be on the carving.
And there'll be a lot of pictures, and I mean, everything will be there. So, there you go, Kevin.
All right, thank you, Liz. And I want to say thank you for the opportunity to share eyewear safety today. It's something I deal with on a daily basis and feel as though I could contribute to fellow carvers and give you a few things to think about. Little background on myself. I started off hand carving similar to Pat's story. When we were first married, I made Christmas presents and did hand carvings. And then eventually got to the point where I started removing the mass wood with a chainsaw to get more stuff in there that I could do with the chisels and hand tools. And then got to the point where I started using the chainsaw more and more. In 2009, I made my first trip to the Rendezvous as a day trip. My in-laws lived in State College, and I came out here to see what it was all about. I saw on the forum where Ridgeway was the place. I thought it was all the professionals came to Ridgeway and came here. And I said, I'm gonna sneak up there for a day and just take a look and see what it is. And after that, I said, next year I'm coming back with chainsaws. And I've been coming since then. But thank you. Today's presentation is on safety eyewear. It's going to give you some things to think about. One of the things safety is an issue that we should apply, and not just eyewear. It's everything we do. From chaps, hearing protection, eyes. I feel qualified to speak with you on your eye safety, but there certainly are several other issues. And this year I had a wake-up call. For myself, I was chasing a small log along the ground and was wearing my chaps and all the safety eyewear, but I should have had that log blocked in and the sock kicked back. I put my hand up, bounced off my wedding ring, and went out my pinky, and I had it bandaged up. But like Pat said, I was in a hurry and trying to get this done, and should have just slowed down and thought about it. But it's one of those things where you say safety is important. It slowed me down for a couple of weeks with bandages on my hand, but it's something I won't do again. So, okay. Today we're gonna talk about some of the human physical senses that we enjoy every day. Our sight.
Could you step over there?
Oh, sure. Talk about the human physical senses, factors comprising the human senses. How could we identify safety wear? What's so important about safety glasses as opposed to regular eyeglasses that we wear every day? And we're going to go a little more in depth about the lens materials, lens designs, and lens treatments that carvers may benefit from by being able to understand these different things. So, next. Okay, our human senses: touch, tactile. We could feel that with our hand, and smell. Other than smelling bar oil and two-cycle oil, we really don't deal with that much in chainsaw carving. Same thing with taste, hearing. We hear the saw, and our vision. Now, our goal in chainsaw carving is to capture and convey the aesthetic value of a sculpture for the enjoyment of our observers. And the way that we're able to accomplish that is by being able to see what we're doing and being able to let other people see what we're doing. And we could could only do that if we have satisfactory vision. And when our vision is compromised, you know, whether it be with eye injury or not being able to see through our eyeglasses, that's where, you know, we could fall short in many areas. And I'm sure it's happened with everybody. It's getting dark at night and you just want to get a carving done and you're going at it, and then you come out to it the next day and say, wow, what did I miss? And you know, that's a real eye-opener sometimes if we can't see what we're doing, how it could affect our carving on a daily basis. So therefore it's imperative that we take all measures in preserving our senses, vision, and touch. And by doing so, we maintain the health of the eye, higher productivity, and quality. The health of the eye, we talk about eye health. By protecting our eyes, we are keeping our eyes from getting scratched. Corneal abrasions, which then, corneal abrasions is when we get sawdust in there and you see somebody with a red eye, it's scratching and sore. And then that opens the potential for infection, so we want to eliminate those possibilities as much as possible with our carving and by using eye protection. Next slide. Okay, so we identify factors comprising the human senses, and the ones we're dealing with specifically with carving is the vision and hearing, when these issues could be compromised. And also touch, you know, we want to be able to see what we're carving, keep our hands out of the way also. So that's also a possibility. And again, our safety glasses are going to provide comfort, productivity, and quality in our work. Next slide. Okay, identification of safety glasses. Now, I'm just looking around and there are several people wearing glasses here, and I don't know if you wear them for carving as your safety glasses or if you have other glasses, but is all eyewear safety eyewear? If we put it in front of our eyes, does that mean that it is protecting our eyes? And in many cases the answer is no. Your regular dress eyewear is not. Just putting side shields, they're available, just putting side shields on your regular glasses does not make them safety glasses. Just regular sunglasses is not safety glasses. Drugstore reading glasses, and by the way, somebody left these here, so if they belong to anybody. Just drugstore reading glasses. Are these yours? Okay. Okay. Drugstore reading glasses are not safety glasses, and certainly not contact lenses. Just because you have contact lenses in your eyes doesn't mean that it's protecting your eyes from injury. The American National Standards Institute is a standard which OSHA uses, and everybody's familiar with OSHA, right? Occupational Safety Hazards. It's the standard that they use to identify what eyeglasses or what lenses are qualified or certified to be safety. And can we go to the next slide here? Okay. In safety glasses, the frame needs to meet qualifications and the lenses need to meet qualifications. The lenses need to be a minimum of 2 millimeters thick. Okay. That's, if you take your finger, 2 millimeters compared to your regular dress eyewear. And the frame needs to meet certain criteria as far as having the lenses in there that are permanent mounted, that aren't going to pop out. Regular dress eyewear, you can see the profile straight across. When I'm talking about the profile of the frame, I'm talking about something like this. Okay, so when you put these glasses on, you're protecting your eyes from 90 degrees, straight ahead. Okay, safety glasses, on the other hand, are giving you 160 degrees of protection. Yes, Liz?
Question.
Sure.
You get a safety glass with a bifocal in it?
Yes.
Do you have them?
I don't you mean plano lenses with a bifocal?
Yep.
I do have them. I don't have them with me.
Okay.
But I don't recommend them for carving.
Well, I just was asked by the people here for if they work in factories.
Yeah, well that would,
They need, you know.
yeah.
You can get progressives. I have progressives
Yeah.
that are safe.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, he'll get
Okay,
there.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll just give them one of your cards.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep. But there are some issues with carving specifically that I don't recommend bifocal lenses. But everybody takes their hands and puts them out here. We don't see our hands until they get about right here. That's our 160 degrees of peripheral vision that we have. So that's the area that things are coming in at our face and at our eyes, potential of getting in there. So by using something like this that has the wrap effect, and you can see all the safety glasses, you know, whether you know they're the ones that I carry or other ones, they will have that 160 degrees of wrap effect to it, protecting your eyes more than just taking regular dress eyewear, you know, that goes straight across. So 40% more protection. Okay, next slide. Safety frame materials. We have Zyl, which is plastic frame. We have metal, and we have combinations of metal and plastic. And each have their pros and cons. We'll go on to the next slide here. Metal frames, they transmit the ambient temperature to your skin. If somebody is out in the summertime and they're wearing a metal frame, especially a black one, you take their sunglasses off, you can see just where their sunglasses were. It might be a sunburn or suntan, but a lot of it has to do with the transmission of the heat to their skin. Hot in the summer, cold in the winter, electrical shock hazard. A lot of the gas companies that I do work with for safety wear don't allow metal frames because a shock also means potential of explosion. So everything we do has to be plastic frames. So metal frames have more moving parts. You're usually going to have the nose pads, the hinges. There's more screws and things to be moving around. The nice thing about metal frames is that metal we could bend, we could twist, we could fit it a little easier. That we don't always have that luxury with plastic materials. And vice versa, plastic frames have fewer moving parts, basically just the hinge. Good insulators against temperature and shock, and are subject to cracking with the cold, depending on the materials. Some frames are made out of cellulose acetate, and as it ages, it gets very sensitive to cracking. Newer materials like nylon, you know, that doesn't happen with. But then we can't bend it to custom fit. Some of it does stretch with warmer temperatures. The material will stretch in there and cause the lenses to become loose. Next slide. Lens materials. The one that most of us are familiar with and has been around for many years is glass. Glass affords optimum optical clarity. All our quality optical products like microscopes, rifle scopes, cameras, video recorders, all have glass lenses in them. But in the optical industry, it's used less than 5% of the time anymore. In our litigious society, many professionals are trying to protect themselves against, you know, issues where the lenses would spontaneously shatter. Glass lenses are highly scratch resistant. However, once you get a scratch on that lens, it's no longer scratch resistant. When a lens is manufactured, it has to go through a tempering process. And they put the lenses in a kiln, and it brings the lens up to temperature really slow, and it comes down to temperature really slow. That is the tempering process. Now, if you've ever done work with glass or you've seen glass cut before, all you do is scorch it a little bit, put a little scratch on it, and it breaks. If a lens ever gets a scratch on it, once it's tempered, it's no longer tempered. So it's more likely to shatter. There have been cases where people would be outside on a cold day, walk into a warm building, or vice versa. People in a warm building walk outside, and that lens just spontaneously implode. So you can see some of the reasons why safety glasses, it's really not practical. If you're in an environment where there's a possibility of that lens scratching, and on top of that you have something hitting it, you can see where the issues could become devastating. Plastic lenses, satisfactory optical quality. It's highly available in any lens designs. It's the most widely used material in the optical industry. Polycarbonate's catching up with it, but we'll talk about that. And it's commonly produced and offered to the consumer. If you do wear prescription lenses, almost every lens design comes in plastic. Polycarbonate, polycarbonate material, if you've ever worked with it, it's very flexible. It could bend, and that's what gives it the impact resistance and the favorability to use in impact environments. However, because of that flexibility, it has the least optical quality, creates the most aberration, distortion when trying to look through it. Sometimes you could see somebody wearing polycarbonate lenses. It looks like a little rainbow in their lenses. That's polycarbonate material and the aberration caused by it. And it's moderately available, and the cost between glass and plastic, it's kind of right in the middle. One of the issues, or the big issue with polycarbonate lenses is it could be compromised easily by using solvents. So if you're using paint thinners or anything like that and you get splashes on your lenses, it could end up cracking or bubbling and would need replacement. There are new hybrid materials making it to the marketplace, and they're being designed to deliver the better optical quality than polycarbonate, and right up there with the availability with plastic. So next slide. Okay, we're going to talk about some lens designs that we may be able to use as carvers. And when we talk about lens designs, it's not plano means there's no prescription. That's what all you folks that do not need correction are wearing in front of your eyes and safety glasses. It's a plano lens, no prescription. And that could just be a regular pair of sunglasses that are also designed to be sunglasses, or something like this that we get at the hardware store, with our Z87 certification. So, okay, single vision lenses. Single vision lenses are affording us functional vision at one focal point. When we go into the eye doctor, he's examining us, the eye chart is 10 feet away. And that's where your distance vision is maximized, at 10 feet and beyond. So that's usually where people are wearing single vision lenses, or if they're wearing glasses just for reading, for a specific focal point, 14 to 16 inches away. So that's where our near vision only or distance vision only comes in. And we're also going to talk about intermediate visual deficits a little later with task lenses. Okay, the only issue with single vision lenses, if we do have two visual deficits, whether it be distance and near, in many cases, like Liz said before, some people are wearing bifocals, it means taking glasses on and off. So we'll go to the next slide. Okay, bifocal lenses. They offer two distinct focal points in one lens, distance vision and near vision. Now, as carvers, you can see that is a problem, because most of our work is out at arm's length, 4, 5 feet away. Remember, the doctor examined us for 10 feet in the exam room, and he examined us for 14 to 16 inches away for our reading material. So the problem is here, that intermediate area that we're working with is really never addressed unless that is communicated to your eye professional when you're having your exam. Say, hey doc, I know you examined me here and out there, but I'm a chainsaw carver, and the tip of my bar is 4 feet away, and that's pretty much my working distance. Could you put something out there, and could we, work with that area? So if that information is communicated to your eye professional, whether it be an optometrist or ophthalmologist, you'll find that is going to be a lot more functional in that lens than just to have the bifocal or the single vision lens. The other issue is I do not recommend bifocals for carvers. We have that line where under the line is 100% of our near vision. Above the line is 100% of our distance vision beyond 10 feet. We have what we call image jump or accommodation. What happens is if you're looking in the distance, then you go to read, it takes your eyes about 5 seconds to accommodate, to focus in on what you're seeing. And a lot can happen in 5 seconds. Especially if we're running a saw and we don't know exactly where the tip of that saw is or where our hands are. And that's why I recommend for chainsaw carvers is if you do this often, try to come up and make the investment in a pair of lenses that are designed for working at that distance. And you could sell one carving and pay for what it would cost you for a pair of single vision lenses for chainsaw carving. This is something that would work well for most people on a daily basis for the dress eyewear, but think twice about using your dress eyewear with the bifocals for carving. Next slide. A lot of people have what we call the SUV of eyeglasses, progressive lenses. And a progressive lens affords you distance vision. The top of the lens is 100% of your distance vision. The bottom of the lens, right here, is 100% of your near vision. And we also have that intermediate area in between. So that's giving us the functional vision out at arm's length. And the issue with this for carving is you can see we don't have a whole lot of real estate here to work with in this lens. You've got to be moving your head to find that sweet spot. Also, we don't have the peripheral vision on the sides. You can kind of see the dead area or the keyhole effect here where your vision is with a progressive lens. So again, it would be very good as an option for your dress eyewear. It would be doing a little bit of everything for you. But when it comes to carving, you're going to have to work hard to try to find your material in that sweet spot in the lens, in the intermediate portion of the lens. Okay, next slide. Now, we talked earlier, I talked a little bit about these task lenses. And a task lens is a lens specifically designed to work at a certain focal point. Mostly we've been used to getting our prescription for near vision and beyond 10 feet. But this task lens, if it's communicated to your eye care professional, could give you that functional vision between 3 and 10 feet. Not that difficult to do if it's just, again, communicated to your eye care professional and applied when manufacturing your eyewear. So task lenses are single vision lenses. They're giving you functional vision at a single focal point. Okay, next. Okay, lens treatments. Lots of different lens options. All lenses don't come clear, and there's benefits of different treatments, different colors in the lenses. The one that's probably most popular that we know in sunglasses is polarized lenses. Polarized lenses take the garbage light that we know as glare and filter it out. It's almost like Venetian blinds, where at a certain time of day that glare is coming in, where we could just position those blinds to let the useful light come in for our eyes to see, but then get rid of that garbage light. The issue I find, and I've learned this from personal experience, is I'm wearing polarized lenses when finishing carvings, putting paint on them. Sometimes it cuts through that glare where you're not seeing what you're painting. Sometimes you want to see that glare to know, areas that you haven't, that you may have missed. Yes, Evelyn?
Yeah, the polarized, I was trying on 2 different colors. I mean, they come in different colors.
Yes.
And so the sky is either bluer or browner or whatever.
Yep.
And I decided, no way, for my carving glasses to have that, because I want the true color to come out. But literally, it does change the color
Yeah, it does.
of everything. And one way or the other, because there's at least 2 different color changes.
Yeah, you have your gray lenses, and gray lenses give you true color definition. Okay, when you look at a red car, it's red. It's not pink, it's not orange. Then you have your brown lenses, which give you a good contrast sensitivity, depth perception. However, you may get a little color aberration, the change of the colors. It might be a little pink, that red car, it might be a little orange. So that's what the brown is. But there's trade-offs, and everybody sees colors differently. Our eyes have receptors. They're called rods and cones. The more light making it to those eyes, or to those receptors, the better we're going to see. If we closed all the lights in this room right now, covered the windows, you wouldn't see me as well as you do right now. So we don't necessarily want to eliminate the light coming through the lens. We want to manage, we want to improve the quality of light coming through the lens. So, and again, everybody has a different concentration of those rods and cones in their eyes. So the way you see colors may not be the way Grandpa Elf sees colors. So, yeah, there is a big difference. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, they also have the ones that come and go.
Yep.
That clear up and then come when it's sunny, and that can really change the way you're doing things too. If you're doing things when it's bright sun and then suddenly it dims, suddenly your whole color scheme changes.
Yeah, that's what we call a transition lens.
Yeah.
Transition is a trade name. There's a couple different ones out there, and that's a very good alternative because that's going to change with the ambient light conditions throughout the day. I personally have a pair of those, and I know there's some other people here that have them as well. And yeah, you can see they'll be light indoors, and it takes about a minute to activate outside and 2 minutes to neutralize when you come inside. It provides a 100% natural ultraviolet light protection, and you can get them in brown, gray. So those are available in different colors. Okay. So, in summary.
What about scratch resistance? I mean, I know this one, my optician gave me the option of scratch resistance. She says there's lots out there and there's coatings and most of them are pretty poor. But there's a couple, apparently there's one that's pretty good, emerald or something like that.
What are you calling it?
Emerald, I think it was called.
Yeah, there's
stone, sapphire. I can't
there's a lot of different ones on the market. When lenses are manufactured, they don't have scratch-resistant lenses and not scratch-resistant lenses. For the most part, they're using all the same lenses themselves, but they do there's different processes that could be put on the lens to make them more scratch-resistant. The issue comes with when you start putting other processes on the lenses like tinting, polarization. They're not always compatible with each other. You could scratch any lens, whether it's plastic, polycarbonate, glass, glass we talked about before being the most scratch resistant. However, there are other issues, prevailing issues which follow with that we don't want to use it. You know, care is an important thing. You know, if you just throw them in the top of your toolbox and throw files and everything else in on top of them, yeah, they're going to get scratched. So, you know, treat them like you would your cell phone or something else. You know, it's not indestructible. So, and you know, we talked about some of the human physical senses that could be compromised with chainsaw carving. Identified safety eyewear, safety frame designs. Talked about the lens materials and lens designs and lens treatments. So in summary, it's very important to communicate your specific optical needs to your eye care professional so that they have the information to provide you with what's going to work best for your specific circumstances. Yes?
I had a question at the bottom. It said yellow lenses are kind of damage your eyes. How does that happen?
Yeah, yellow lenses are actually turbocharging the light, bringing more light to your eyes, and they're pretty much used in lower light conditions. And when all that light is coming to your eyes, it's overstimulating, and what happens is our eyes will then start to squint, control that light coming through. And what happens as we squint, we put more pressure against our optic nerve. Our optic nerve is like our main artery to our brain from our eye. So as you put more pressure against that, it's like putting a kink in a hose. That's what we know as glaucoma.
So there's really no use for those yellows?
There is in lower light conditions. You know, dark, overcast days, it would be fine, but it could be very damaging to your eyes to use out in the sun. You know, especially with snow on the ground and anything else around.
It's good for shooting trap.
Good
Oh,
for,
yeah.
right, for shooting trap. It's giving you a good contrast and sensitive target acquisition.
Have you got any views on comfort? Because it can hurt over the years when you're wearing ear defenders or on the bridge of the nose when the cat's pushing down. You know, if it's not comfortable, you can
Right.
check them on.
And there are some alternatives for that. They do make glasses where these come off, the temples come off, and you can put straps on them. And they work very well to use with the headsets. And then when you don't want to use the headsets, you can put the temples back on and wear them as normal. So yeah, there's products out there that will work, you know, for those situations well. Evelyn.
One observation and a comment. I keep my old glasses, and it turns out that when you change, sometimes your prescription changes, and then like my reading glasses became just right for carving, you know, so I then put safety glasses on top of my reading glasses because I had some real goggle type that would work. So keep your old glasses. They're great for a secondary care for something else, even if your prescription changes.
That's why as your arms get longer and longer, you find out it's time to go to the eye doctor. So yes, that old pair of glasses, you know, might work well as task glasses.
For mine, it's bell ringing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's right out there.
My husband uses sports glasses, and occasionally I'll grab his for when I don't have mine around to carve with. Are those are still safety glasses because they're for impact? Is it okay still for?
Yeah, a lot of the sports glasses are Z87
Yeah.
certified. Yeah, for that. There's actually a different credentialing organization for sports glasses as there is for safety glasses.
Really? I wondered about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of people ask about fogging as well. You know, that's a really big issue, especially in this kind of temperatures. We take a frame that's been sitting out in the truck, you know, for you know, that's 10 degrees, maybe even colder. Put it on our face, it's 98.6. All of a sudden, those lenses want to steam up. So you try to bring those lenses or those frames up to temperature really slow, or down to temperature really slow. Try to get it the same temperature as your body. That is going to diminish the chances of it fogging up. There are products out there that could be applied to the lenses, like a wax that acts as an insulator, to kind of neutralize those temperatures. Cat crap is the name of one, believe it or not. And it's usually sold in places that skiers use it a lot on their lenses.
Scuba diving shops.
Scuba diving shops, it works very well.
Washing up liquid, have you tried that? I mean, a local paintball company where they hand out with goggles all the time. Halfway through it, you put washing up liquid on both sides, and then you really wipe it off with a tissue. And that says the same.
Right, and yeah, what that's doing is that's putting a coating, over the lens, and again, kind of neutralizing the temperature exchange between there. And it works good for a while, and
Yeah, it's not.
and then it needs to be done again.
I know somebody saying Rain-X, but I've never tried it.
Yeah, you know what? With the processes that are going on lenses anymore,
I'd be worried.
we talked about scratch resistant. You start putting stuff on that may not be friendly with that. You could end up compromising the lens materials. So, I wouldn't recommend it on a new $400 pair of eyeglasses. Okay, well, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. One more question.
What are the best safety glasses to wear over glasses?
Yes, you can get safety glasses that go over your glasses. However, there is an issue with that. We have what's